performance we were looking for, to be honest with you. But it's a point gained. I don't look at it as 2 points dropped because if you had offered me an opportunity to take a point from Goodison, or or lose all three, I most definitely would have taken a point. We had a few chances to do better attacking wise. We just didn't take it. But that's okay. It happens. You know, we didn't lose a game. We've dropped points for the first time in a minute, and we're still second at the end of the day. We still have a decent buffer over like the likes of Arsenal, your Forest, Man City, and I understand Liverpool just went ahead of us 4 points with a game in hand, but we are not in a title race. That's not the goal. The goal is top four. The goal is 40 points. The goal is Champions League qualification. You know, uh, Conference League, you take that. Potentially FA Cup, you take that. But this is by no means a bad performance. Everton played well defensively; they were on it. Um, Offensively, they caused us issues as well, and they really could have won this game if it wasn't for Sanchez. And Tosin especially putting his body on the line. Now with the starting 11, I can understand what Maresca's trying to do. You bring in Desasi, you have more aerial threat. You have more defensive solidity when it comes to aerially. Everton have physical players, so it was always going to be set pieces. You got to be defending those, and then you try to cause problems in their box as well. Jackson should have did a lot better with a header that hit the post, but other than that, I don't think there was a lot of attacking cohesion. Um, Neto was quiet. Sancho he did bits, but ultimately it wasn't really enough. Jackson had the two best chances in this game that he definitely should have buried one, but he's allowed a day off, and that's just the reality. And as much as we might not want it, Jackson is allowed a day off to have a game like this. But yeah, we didn't really do much. I thought midfield, Caicedo, Enzo, they were on it. I've seen a few people said Desasi was awful. I thought Desasi had a decent game. He didn't do anything awfully wrong for me. Tosin was the one who definitely did a lot that I was very impressed. Trying to break the lines, putting his body on the line for that block. Caldwell handled himself as well. We didn't concede a goal. And for the most part, we had a lot of the ball. A lot of the game was played in Everton's half, and we take the point and we keep it moving. It's not really much to say about this game that we don't already know. We know we struggle to play certain low blocks at times. Um, we've done a lot better this season to get points from certain games that usually we wouldn't. Bournemouth, for example. Everton, we picked up a point last season. We lost over there. Who else? Just a lot of these low blocks. Wolves. So we've definitely like improved a lot, and we've been a lot better in recent games. But I thought today's game, it was just one of those, man. Like one chance wins you the game. Robert Sanchez, big performance again from him. Two games in a row, he's been pulling saves out of his ass, and he's been keeping us in these games. So shout out to him as well. Midfield, I thought Caicedo, Enzo, they did their thing. Neto, not really in the game for me. Jackson, not really in the game. Palmer was awful today. Today was arguably the worst performance, the worst game I've seen Cole Palmer play in. And to be honest, these are some of the opportunities where Maresca has to take him off. Like, I know Palmer's capable of like a moment of brilliance, but when you look at someone like a Joao Felix and potentially even Nkunku in that position, they give you something different. Palmer's being man marked out of the game. Okay, bring Felix in. Felix can, he can legit drag that team forward. In those tight spaces, he's really nifty with his footwork, and he's dangerous at the end of the day. So Palmer being ineffective, take him off. You don't want to take him off. Move him to the left. Bring Felix in to give us even more dynamism. Being going forward, like you have to make that attack a bit dynamic, so you can create overloads and you really can just like try to suffocate Everton. And I thought we kind of let them off the hook. But yeah, I think that the changes that Maresca did or the changes he made, not the best today. I thought he could have did more to win all three, but ultimately you didn't lose the game. You kept a clean sheet. You gained a point. You know, now you just have to make sure the next couple of games, Everton, Ipswich, you're on it. If you go and you win those two games comfortably, I'm cool with that. You understand what I mean? But today's game, um, I didn't really learn a lot that I did not already know. I know Everton were always going to be hard to beat. I predicted 3-1 because I'm confident in this team to be able to find solutions in game, to be able to find breakthroughs and create chances. And for the most part, I think if Jackson had scored that first chance, potentially even that second chance, who knows? Everton might open up a bit more, try to get a point. You know, when they start opening up, then you got spaces to exploit. But Cucurella also being unavailable today, I would say was a big miss because he is, very integral to what we do and how we play. Cucurella making up the numbers in midfield, causing overloads on the left, on the right, centrally, just keeping everything neat and tidy would have definitely been important in this game. And those overlaps and those underlaps that he always offers James Sancho, that connection, them being a very dynamic duo, I think definitely helps us in creating chances. And 2 games in a row, he scored a goal. So you never know. Cucurella could have just been on a nice low streak, get another goal today out of nowhere. You never know. But I thought him missing this game was very, very key. Lavia again wasn't in this in the squad. I don't think he would have added anything different, to be honest with you. But you want to save him for Fulham, Ipswich, the next couple games coming through. I have no issue with that. But ultimately, Arsenal won this weekend. Liverpool just slapped up Spurs 6-3. So you wanted to kind of, pick yourself up, get some maximum points on the board, but it's not all doom and gloom. Man City also lost. United also lost. So it turned out to be a pretty good weekend, and we just look forward to, Thursday, the weekend after that. And then we see how we address, that whole midfield issue with Lavia being unavailable as much. But I think it was a decent weekend. You didn't lose to Everton. We haven't lost in the Premier League since Liverpool. So that's got to be something that's very impressive. The way Maresca is able to just get this team playing, get the principles just showing, and we did what we could, but it's just Everton came out to just be resolute. They came out to frustrate us, and that's just reality. So unfortunately, that's just what it is. Player ratings from this game, let's just go through it real quick. Sanchez for me gets an 8. Big save to keep that clean sheet, to keep us in the game. Distribution was pretty much on point. Didn't do anything wrong. Didn't lose concentration, and that's all we can ask for. So for me, Sanchez gets an 8. Desasi will get a 6.5. Again, yes, a few times he was turned by Ndiaye, but I thought he was still pretty solid. I thought he won his duels. I thought he played well. So Desasi gets a 6.5. Tosin for me gets a 9. Just that block alone on the line just was immense. That's another opportunity for Everton to have just stolen the 3 points undeserved, to be fair. So Tosin getting a block in, just dealing with everything, corners, heading it out, just being very aggressive with his pressing, his marking. Like Tosin was good. So for me, Tosin gets a 9. Colwell, I'll say he gets an 8. Didn't do much wrong. He tried to just keep us, pushing forward, trying to punch the ball into midfield. Didn't really put a foot wrong for me. So I think I'll give Cole like a 7. Gusto had a good game, just not in the sense that I would have wanted it. From an attacking point, I would have expected more. Defensively, he was pretty solid. So Gusto for me, he gets a 7. Caicedo, standard 8.5. Just kept winning, his battles in midfield, kept the team moving forward, handled business. Enzo, same, 8.5. These guys are starting to build a nice balance in midfield that I really like. And that's what a 200, million pound midfield is supposed to look like. That balance, the tenacity, the hard work, the grit, the tactical, the technical excellence. This is what you want to see from the midfielders. They carried out their job. Sancho, he tried, but I think ultimately I wanted more from him. Sancho for me gets maybe like a 7. Palmer for me gets a 3. He was really in. He was just not influential. I didn't see him on the ball as much. I just thought he was very invisible. So Palmer, I give him a 4. Man, he just wasn't it. Neto, I like the industry. I like the hard work that he puts in, the grit, the graft. But ultimately, I want you attacking wise to produce more, and I didn't really see enough today. Um, Neto would get a 5, maybe 5.5. Jackson should have scored. Should have scored. Simple, point blank. Didn't really do much. After that, Jackson for me gets a 5, if so much, if any higher. The subs, Noni, 1, didn't really do much. Didn't really take on anyone. Didn't create much. He was just gave the ball away a few times for me. I just think he didn't really get into the game as much, but it's not really his fault. That's just how Everton just really strangled the life out of our attack. So Noni gets a 1, and Kunku gets a 1 as well. Didn't really do much to the attack. Didn't really make a difference. And that's it, guys. Not much to say. Point game. We keep it moving. Again, top 4 race is what we're trying to do. And that's just the reality. Now, people, if this is your first time coming across the content, you like the video, sub to the channel, hop in the comments, man. Let me know how you feel about the game. Let me know how you feel about our season and overall. Do you think Maresca should have made some subs a lot earlier than he did? I think he should have. But again, I can also understand why he did not, because he was kind of seeing how the flow of the game was going, and it kind of was going to the point where it was going to be a draw. But I believe him bringing in, Nkunku and Noni was just trying to see if he could kind of sneak that win out of there. It wasn't, and that's just the reality. So, people, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.